of approximately $6.4 million for the 26-27 school year. Now, within the available state funding for personnel and our excess levy fund. So we're no longer spending more on personnel than we have available. They're aligned, and it provides stability for our overall financial position as a school system. The budget for major repairs to existing facilities for the coming year has increased from $500,000 last year to $2.5 million. Our facilities are showing their age, wear and tear, and are in need of repair and regular maintenance. So we've allocated additional funds there. The fiscal year 2027 budget for Logan County Schools for the general fund, Fund 11, and restricted spending funds, both federal and state funds, which are funds 41, 61, and 65. Together, those total $80,687,350. And this supports approximately 601 full-time equivalent positions, which is about 80% of the budget. So some major allocations are listed there. K-12 instruction is by far our biggest part of our budget, which includes salaries. Is at over 22.666, 468, $22,666,460. $500,000 for security measures via the excess levy, $8.8 million for maintenance and operations, $6.2 million for transportation, and $9 million, a little over $9 million for special education programs. So that's also a large portion of our budget, and around $3.8 million for food service operation. Now, there are additional budget categories listed in our packet, and for both restricted and general funds, which provide services and activities that support teaching and learning, student enrichment, and extracurricular activities. This budget ensures consistent, effective operation and support of educational activities within Logan County schools while maintaining effective management of the financial resources available. Respectfully submitted, Dr. Sonia White, Superintendent, Rhonda Justice, Treasurer, CSBO of Logan County Schools. If you have any questions, Ms. Justice and I'll be happy to answer those. But the notebook you have in front of you has our proposed budget. The first part is the revenue. The second part is the actual budget. There's information about the budget calendar and the process we have to follow. Charts with revenue and expense breakdowns. Our published budget, which is in tab 4, which will be put in the paper, and our assessed valuations, the levy orders, our approval letter from the state auditor, and then tabs 8 through 12 are the final computations of the state funding received from the state from various things for the retirement, PIA, state aid, and our library allocation. So if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer.
The main HVAC work hit last year, hit this year's, or just hitting next year's?
It's in the budget.
It's in the budget, yeah.
It's presently in the budget.
Yeah.
But so it, okay, so it's, okay, gotcha.
It's in there.
It's okay.
Yeah. Because part of that SBA is we had contributed a portion for the project, so we allocated that in as well.
Any questions?
Thank you, Dr. White. And starting off with presentations. And first off is Miss Cynthia Newton. She is the secondary curriculum specialist. And she's here for special recognition. So, Miss Sue, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. I am Cynthia, Secondary Curriculum Specialist for Logan County Schools, and I want to tell you 2 quick stories about Logan County Schools and Beta Club. Freshman student wants to compete at speech in the state beta competition. She hasn't tried this before, but her beta advisor and teachers encourage her to explore something new. This encouragement ultimately leads to a speech on, of all things, Disney princesses and the examples they set for girls everywhere. At the state competition, she qualifies for national, but it's in Oklahoma City. Big truck. She isn't sure she should go. The competition so far away on speech nationally against other students who have had a lot more experience and opportunities to explore that skill. But her beta advisor repeatedly encourages her to go with the group from her school, and ultimately she decides to make the 16-hour trip. Before that week is over, that student who was given the opportunity to explore his talent, who was encouraged by her beta advisors and teachers, becomes a national beta champion at a national convention that had over 20,000 betas attend that year from across the United States, all with a speech on discrimination. That speech, that opportunity, that exploration of a hidden talent led not only to 3 state and 2 national championships in speech, but also a year as the West Virginia State Beta President. Different convention, a different beta. The state beta presidential candidate delivers a keynote speech and draws a blank about 3 sentences in. Every speech giver's nightmare. The auditorium becomes silent. It's heavy. Her school betas realize quickly that there's a problem and they start cheering her on just like they would do anybody else, supporting her friend and fellow beta. Being the amazing and charismatic beta she is, she rallies and gives an amazing speech that ultimately leads to her being elected West Virginia State Beta President that year. But that isn't the story, not really, because we already know she's amazing, full of potential and sunshine. The story is across the aisle at the convention as students from a neighboring county who also have a candidate running in the same presidential race are cheering just as loudly as the students. For those unfamiliar with Beta, it's defined as the nation's largest independent nonprofit educational youth organization dedicated since 1934 to promoting academic achievement, character, leadership, and service opportunities for students in grades 4 through 12. That's the textbook definition. But the real definition lies in the 2 short stories. Exploring academic challenges and skills, trying new things, leading by example, showing quality character and leadership skills with support from all betas, not just the ones in your school. This year, Logan County Schools has earned the prestigious honor of being named a Beta District of Distinction. The only one in West Virginia and only one of 95 in the nation. Now, earning this recognition is no small accomplishment. A District of Distinction is awarded only to districts where every eligible school in a school district actively offers national beta and inducts qualifying students from all eligible grades. Under the leadership of Superintendent Sonia White, along with hardworking sponsors, educators, and especially our students, this district continues to create opportunities for young people to grow into leaders and be the very best versions of themselves. We have with us tonight some beta representatives from several of our schools that are offering a word or sentence or idea about what beta means to them in their schools. As I call your name, please share the word or sentence or idea that you decided. So we're going to start with the elementary schools. And we have Charity Blankenship from Chapmanville Intermediate. All right, Charity. What'd you decide on?
I don't think the I'm doing great in school and making your school a better place.
That's great. From Nan Elementary, we have Megan King here with us. Megan, what word or idea did you come up with? Leadership, that's a great one. From South Man Elementary, Emiliana Frazier.
What I'm here with is kindness and serving.
And from Burtonville, we have Cece Hall.
Friendship.
Friendship, yeah. Am I missing any other elementary? Okay. All right, let's go to middle school. So from Logan Middle School, we have Anna Van.
I think a good word that describes Logan Mills Beta is excellence. It describes each and every Beta member at our school.
From Chapmanville Middle School, Chase Blankenship.
Me being a beta means I can be a leader, I can help others, and I can show what it means to make good choices and work hard.
Last middle school is main middle school and I think that's Fisher. Okay. We've got some high schools. We've got 3 representatives. So we'll start with Chattanooga Regional with Julie Webb.
The word that describes better our school would be union, because in the duration of this year, Beta Club has felt more like a connected community than a student organization, and that would be possible without these teachers and staff.
And we have Man High School, Isabel Miller.
Beta Club isn't just a simple club. It's about helping those in the community around us and supporting each other. Another word that can describe it is teamwork, by working together and making the world a better place.
Miss any middle school or high school? Finally, we have Shelby Mullins, a beta from Logan High School, who will share a thought about her beta.
Good evening. I'm Shelby Mullins. I'm a junior at Logan High School. And I want to take a minute to talk about Beta Club and the impact that it has on Logan High. At Logan High, Beta is more than just an organization. Through its 4 pillars of achievement, character, leadership, and service, students are encouraged to work hard academically while also giving back to their community. One of the biggest parts of Beta at LHS is our involvement in community service. Through this, students are encouraged to help at local events, become active members in the community, and find any way they can to make a difference in Logan County. Every student in Beta Club has put their own time into making a difference, and just last week, their hard work was rewarded. Logan High School was ranked #1 in West Virginia among all Beta Clubs for community service hours completed. On top of that, we were ranked #3 in the nation. These awards reflect on the hard work, dedication, and compassion that are put into Beta Club at LHS. I myself am a member of Logan High School Beta Club, and I'm proud to be part of such an organization of standards, hard work, and many accomplishments. Thank you.
So we've got words like service, leadership, friendship, helping, unity, excellence, and more, all from our students. And we have this represented in an organization in all our schools. Please join me in congratulating Logan County Schools on being named the 2025-2026 National Beta District of Distinction. Congratulations. All right, so the kids have things that will give Dr. White to do. All right, so if you're Beta, come on. Roll on your shoulder. We're not. All right, you guys gather. All right.
So if people let somebody else take a picture, you go there.
All right. It's your book. Come on, your book for 30 years. Please. All right, you guys ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. We'll take it up. 1, 2, 3. All right, Beta. Thumbs up. Come on. We have all kinds of personality. All right, good job. Pat.
we're gonna take a little, 2 or 3 minute recess. We got business, with like facilities and all that stuff coming up, so if any of the students and their families want to go ahead and head out, you can, you're more than welcome to stay. We love having people here in the meeting, but, we don't want to bore you all. You know, we're in recess, and we have to. Meeting will come back into order. We'll go back onto our agenda. Under 5 communications, we now going down to our facilities update, and our Director of Operational Support, Mr. Andrew Dotson, has some information for us. So, Mr. Dotson, the floor is yours, sir.
People are wondering, Logan Elementary School update. This is what we know so far. Originally, when the fire broke out, we had a cleaning company early on. The insurance company felt that that was premature, that we needed to determine the non-cosmetic damage to the building and what would be required to make it safe for occupancy. Our maintenance crew secured the building, fixed the roof to prevent any further damage. I do meet with and communicate with weekly our insurance adjuster for all updates. Several crews have been brought in to map the building, assess the damage to the structure, and determine what will be necessary to safely occupy the building. And I meet with them over there when they come. The smoke and associated soot permeated every inch of the building. The air quality remains poor in the building, and opening a few windows and wiping down walls will not significantly make the situation better inside the school. Every item with a motor or a fan, when turned back on, will emit soot and particles back into the air. We believe every PTAC unit, which would be your HVACs on the wall, will need to be replaced at a minimum. There was damage to the electrical system, the fire alarm system, network cabling in the building, in addition to structural damage. We are waiting on insurance to finalize these reports and provide us with information regarding the scope of the work and its cost. Our biggest issue is about Logan Elementary School would be state code, may require us to bring the entire building up to code, but we're not sure yet on that. And I don't have any definitive answers at this time, but once we have information, we will share it. It's not a quick process. It's not been a quick process, but it is a weekly updated process. That is all I have on Logan Elementary. If you all have any questions that you'd like to ask.
Are you saying in addition to the fire damage, there's some other things that need picked up, improved to meet the specs? Now, is that what you said a while ago?
Could be.
Okay, such as example.
So if we have to redo the building, it could be a sprinkler system.
Okay.
It could be a updated, newer fire alarm system.
Who will make that decision, Andrew? Will it be the insurance company, or will it be the fire marshal, or will it be us as to whether we've got to go back code?
It would, well, I don't want to misspeak, but I believe it would be in code. We would have to, it would be Dr. White, WVDE.
Yeah.
It would be covered by the insurance too. It'd be covered by the insurance also.
We don't, that's what we're waiting for.
Yeah. Numbers is one thing we've not received on any of that yet.
Okay. But you would think it being the fire that caused all this, the insurance should pretty well kick in. You would think. I know sometimes there's obstacles that
Yeah.
they try to avoid.
They provide us with that information, but again, they had several people come into the building and look at all aspects of it, including the furniture and you know, the loss that can't be, you know, we can't clean up. And so they'll be providing us with that, we hope, soon. And again, Andrew and I nag them pretty regularly to get information.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Some other updates to facilities. Central office, we are currently, it should be finished up in July, working on a new water system. All the water lines in the central office are corroded. We have that halfway finished. When our plumber comes back, our extra plumber comes back July 1, the new water lines will be 100% complete. I'd say they're around 80% complete right now. Due to those corroded water lines, obviously the carpet that we've had in the offices for years and years and years have always been leaked on, stained. So half the side, the left side of the building has new flooring. The remaining offices will be updated with new flooring as well, and that will take place in June. That will be Superior Pocahontas that will be doing that for us in June. In January, the awning, if you refer to the, I won't have you go straight to the page, but this is my checkoff list. It is a to-do list recommended from the WVDE. It's the thicker one I gave you all on the bottom. There were some issues that the maintenance guys are able to do, and they're working on it. One of them was the Man Elementary, the awning was falling in or had fallen in. We put new metal soffit, new lighting. Entryway looks good. We plan on in the fall matching the Man Middle School one with that. Our electrical department is now taking apart every unit in the county and thoroughly cleaning it. Parking lot lines will be painted on all locations this summer. We installed a new sewer motor at Udingus Elementary this year, so that was a big one for us. And there's lots and tons of smaller projects on that project list that the guys have checked off, worked on, cleaning up the basements, you know, aesthetically pleasing the buildings, but not only that, bringing them up to safety standards and standards for our students. Big projects. We received a quote from an HVAC company to replace a unit that runs 5 classrooms at Chattanville Middle School. The guys stepped up, said they could do the project and save the county money. We rented a crane last week. If you went by Chattanville Middle School, you saw them taking a 15-ton unit off the roof, lifting another 15-ton unit, putting it back on the roof. This will roughly save the county about $60,000 that our guys could do. So hats off to them for that job. This summer, a lot going on. I might have bitten off a lot, but we're a little behind, so I'm trying to play catch up. All 5 elevators minus Logan Middle School, we entered into an agreement with TK Elevator. Logan High School, Man High School are getting full modernization, meaning cabs, motors, buttons, the thresh, the sensor on the door, 100% complete modernization of their elevators. The other ones had newer elevators that just needed maybe a couple things, like they still had the old bumpers on the doors instead of the sensors. So those schools got repairs instead of full modernization. So that will be, the repairs are finished, the full modernizations are taking place this summer. Let's see, Logan High School and here Ralph R. Willis Career and Technical Center will soon have bids go out for full new asphalt. I don't know when the last time they've had asphalt, but the island we know is in bad shape. There is not much that we can do to just seal it and put down. It's going to be milled up, and the same here. So took the 2 worst parking lots, took into consideration 2 that are used a lot, and we'll put bids out for those this summer. I'm sorry, just before school's out. I'm not gonna say that one. Dr. White will take that one. Also here, if you want to know about insurance, storm, December 19th, 2025. I haven't even taken my job yet. Microcell comes through, man area, and destroys 2 baseball fields and a softball field, excuse me. Very devastatingly destroyed them. So we are still in the process. We have all the fencing corrected. We've started with the cleanup for multiple companies. Even with Man Little League. When the poles broke at Man Little League, I believe we lost 3 or 4 poles. One of them had controlled every bit of the electricity. My guys redid all of the electricity for Man Little League. We had a company set some poles that the softball lost and the baseball lost and get them wired in. My guys did the wiring with the companies, but that just goes to show you, I'll never forget December 19th. A, I hadn't taken the job yet, and B, that's how long we're looking at with insurance. We're still working because we still have 3 or 4 light poles in Man Little League that we have not given up on yet.
Are they able to play ball games at night yet at Man Little League?
I believe so. I've been working with Mr. Dickerson since he's from up that area. And one of my electricians, Timothy Williams and TJ, he's from up that area, and they have kids and grandkids who play together. So they take a lot of the lead. I know they fixed the 2 fields up near Man Elementary. The county commission did, and we donated some bleachers for them and are trying to help them out in that way. But the light poles at the Little League field still remain. It's cheap. We have light poles around the county. It's just cheaper to buy newer ones. So it's just working with the insurance and getting them in. It's a very slow process. So there's still more to come with the storm of December 19th. SBA, the School Building Authority, Logan High School had a 2-year project for all new electricity, all electrical work. HVAC, fire alarm project, and that was completed last month, 100%. At that same time, around that same time, Man High School started a 2-year electrical upgrade work for all new HVAC and fire alarms. So we've got the 2 years to go for Man High School, but we did finish up the Logan High School.
So walk through and everything's complete at Logan, right?
The punch, there will be 2 more barge systems. There is 100%. We've given them substantial completion punch list, but there are 2 barge units that are 12 weeks out that we have to add to a room. That was missed, and that's the only thing that we're waiting on at Logan High School. But yes, everything is substantial completion. Bids, like I said, I'm diving in. My brain's just, it won't stop. I want this. I want to get stuff done. We placed bids to have broken sprinklers fixed and have company. We have the company lined up who won the bid and ready to go. We have, some schools that are not operating at efficient sprinkler capacity. So that was one bid that was put out. I'll get some other bids, but we have several bids that we put out with ZMM to correct some major concerns. Shoring up the kitchen at Chattanville Primary was one of them. It is temporarily shored right now to get the cooks out of Chattanville Intermediate so that the kids didn't have to walk over in the rain. The cooks didn't have to walk over and bring the food back in the rain or the snow or whatever. So we have the company ready. We're just waiting on contracts for these next bids that I'm going to talk about from ZMM to do the permanent shoring with the new trusses underneath the kitchen at Chattanville Primary. Right now it's temporary, but it's temporary enough to where it is clear for them to use their kitchen. We have several buildings that are a liability that are going to have to be demolished. I've been working with Dr. White to try to come up with a list of where to start, sort of like what's the greatest needs. And I believe our greatest needs right now are our chimneys at schools that are, existing. I know Buffalo has a chimney. Chattanville Primary has a very tall chimney. Those have to be taken down brick by brick by brick. We have, some older buildings, which you will find on the front page of the little paper I gave you on the front page. I'm sorry, no. But yes, on the very front page, it'll say major reactive maintenance updates. You will see demolition project, about the 3rd one up from the bottom, and it'll show you chimneys, Monaville, places like that. But we don't have, like I said, there's no contract in place, and we don't know which one. Chimneys are dead. Buildings are not. We don't know where we're going with that in that direction yet because no contract has been written up. The most important project, when I came aboard, I knew it right away. If you look, you wonder why, you see the mortar cracks in the buildings. For instance, Logan High School needed a new roof. We have sagging in corners, you see blocks. We have major drainage issues in our buildings. Roofing and draining. We don't have the equipment or the men to handle the draining. The drains run through the walls and have to be fixed that way with the cameras. So we put that out. So the company that won the bid with that has worked in other counties close to us. The State Department was there that day when we opened the bids. They think that is the best county for the job. I'll give you an example. When I went over to Alltech was shoring up the Logan High School football building. It had all the gutters running down the side of the drains. When they dug up to put the piers in, there's no drainage underneath. It's just running underneath our foundations. Most of our buildings now, I'd say, not most, all of our buildings are doing that. This company will correct that within a year. And then if we like their work, we can continue their contract and then they can maintain it after that. So that is the number one thing we have to fix first. We can't fix anything else until we fix the drainage issues at all of the schools. They've just never been maintained. They're stopped up. They're collapsed in the walls, issues like that. Does anybody have any questions? I'm kind of going a little fast. I know this is a lot.
How are they gonna work with that? Are they gonna work per building? Or are they going, so they're gonna look like quotas per building as they proceed, or?
It already happened, the quote, during the bid. So the bid process, they were required, the companies were required to visit every school.
So they've already visited all the facilities.
They've already visited all the facilities. If you look at, second from the top line, you'll see all facilities, correct roofs and drainage.
When you say maintain, what do you mean maintain? They're gonna maintain the drainage, the
The
gutter?
drainage,
These are
the
clear.
gutters, and the punctures and the roofs.
Okay.
A pinhole in a roof, if a drop of water gets in there and it starts to freeze, it expands, it literally busts. There's where you get your damage. I have one guy that does roofs. We have 20 some buildings that we take care of, not to mention all the athletic facilities and places like that. So this company will maintain, once a month, we'll visit every building after they're all fixed and make sure that the roofs are, properly secured.
Is that under the same price or is that
Yes.
additional? Under the same, okay. For how long?
It would be you'd have to redo the contract for a year.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, we're fixed. We're gonna correct the problems. If you walk out this door, you'll see a drain pipe just dripping water. We have to fix all that. Safety wise, and I promise I'm almost finished. Safety wise, I've been working with Brian Brown, who's Homeland Security, Capitol Police. He is our county contact. He does the walkthroughs. We put some initiatives in place to make our schools safer for students. That is part of our levy money. That is part of my responsibility. I have bids out right now for image glass wrap. If you've ever seen the Timberwolf on Logan Middle School doors, Chapmanville Intermediate has the wraps, Chapmanville Regional High School, every school in the county I have a bid out for right now who will have those wraps at the school's design, their colors, their to ensure that you can't see in. So that helps with the protection of the students, who's in the office at the time. If I'm looking to harm, or if somebody's looking to harm the school, they can't see in to see who's in the office at that moment. What door can I pry into? Things like that. Especially our windows that aren't even tinted. Some schools have tinted windows. They can still have the image wrap. We quoted those into the price. So that's one thing for safety. We are also to get up with code. Reflective numbers have to be added to the bottom of each door. Before Logan Elementary, I would have said there's never going to be school fires, but I'm never going to say that again in my entire life. But it's for when students, God forbid, are in the fire, the reflective numbers, they'll be able to see if they have to crawl out through the smoke. And so those will be installed this summer. Lastly, I met with every fire department and the county commission last week. And we are going to install Knox boxes for every school. Logan Middle School has a Knox box. They're the only school in the county that has it. If you're not familiar with it, a Knox box looks like a little safety box. It goes into the brick. It houses every key that a fire department would need. They're designed for fire departments, not law enforcement. We're working on a different plan for law enforcement. In every fire engine, that fire engine will have their own security box. It will house the Knox box key. So it doesn't matter what fire truck they take. So when I met with them, I asked them, you know, one of the things they had to say, you know, we had 8 engines. We have 6 engines, we have 4 engines. That way I know how many boxes to get them. And that will, when they made entry at Logan Elementary, it was a real fire. You have to, you know, when it's a real fire, you do what you have to do to get in. But if they did not know it was a real fire, they would have busted the window out, and that would have cost, obviously, taxpayer dollars, you know, just to make entry. The Knox box allows them to check that first, unless, of course, you know, you pull up, you see flames rolling out of the roof, you know, the Knox box is not what you need. But an alarm goes off in the middle of the night, fire department shows up, they've got the Knox box key. Inside the Knox box will be all the keys they'll need for mechanical rooms to shut things off. So that's a big one. And I mean, other than, you know, I want to thank Dr. White. She's like a guardian angel that sits on your shoulder, and she's super smart with her facilities. She might be in everything else, but she only talks to me about facilities. And I have to force her to talk to me. The county commission, I want to thank them. You know, they've helped with fields and things like that, the Knox boxes. I want to thank, you know, you all, anytime I've called, any of you all, you've been there. But most importantly, this school system would not run without the maintenance. And those guys that I work for, they don't work for me, I work for them, are some of the smartest guys in this county. And they don't give themselves credit for it. And I wish I had half the knowledge and a quarter of the skill that they had. Because I think I could be a millionaire. But they're amazing guys, and they've never failed us to step up. They were there at the fire. When the fire broke out, they stayed until I had to make them leave. And they do that for every single thing that happens in this county. They are on call 24 hours a day, and I have never been told no. So we do have the most amazing bunch of maintenance men, and I have to end with that. So there are no questions. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Johnson?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right. Going on to, public speakers. We have, 3 public speakers. We will go in order of sign up. You guys need me to go over the policy for public speaking? Okay. All right. So we're going to start with the first. It is Miss Brittany Fury. Is that how you pronounce your last name? All right. Miss Brittany Fury. She is here to speak on request for support at the West Virginia Department of Education on 6-3. Ms. Fury, you have 5 minutes, and your time will begin once you start speaking.
Brittany Fury. Before I begin, I want to define accountability means being responsible for actions, decisions, and outcomes, and taking ownership when systems fail. Tonight, I am here because our community is demanding accountability. Since February of 2026, there have been 3 staff members at Logan Middle School investigated for sexual misconduct involving students, as well as 1 additional staff member placed on leave due to negligence connected to one of those cases. And while these incidents are deeply concerning here in Logan County, this issue extends far beyond our community and county lines. Communities all across West Virginia are having conversations about student safety, reporting failures, accountability gaps, and whether enough protections are truly in place for students. This is not a political issue. And this is not about internet drama or attacking individuals. It is simply about systems. In 2022, a Logan Middle School staff member was investigated for distribution and display to minor of obscene matter and was still allowed to continue working in Logan County until 2023, when that individual voluntarily surrendered.
I gotta stop you. We can't discuss personnel issues
So anything that is specific to a personnel issue, you can't discuss during public comments.
All right. How do these situations continue happening? Where are the gaps? What policies are failing and what changes are necessary to better protect students moving forward? Because student safety cannot depend on luck. It cannot depend on whether or not someone speaks up loudly enough. And it cannot depend on communities simply hoping that the system handles things correctly behind closed doors. Members of this board are not just elected officials. You are parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, neighbors, and community members. You are the voice of Logan County when dealing with the West Virginia Department of Education. And because of that, I am asking this board tonight to stand with this community as we attend the West Virginia Department of Education meeting on June 3rd to advocate for stronger statewide policies, stronger accountability measures, and greater transparency surrounding investigations involving student safety. We need reform that prioritizes students first. And moving forward, I strongly encourage this county and this board to continue evaluating how investigations are handled, how communication with families is handled, what safeguards are in place during investigations, and what additional accountability measures can help ensure student safety remains the highest priority. Because restarting public trust requires more than statements, it requires action. The people showing up tonight are not here because they hate this county. They are here because they love this community and want better for its students. And the truth is, acknowledging a problem is not what damages public trust. Ignoring it does. Thank you.
Next up, we have Mr. Billy Reeves, and he's got down public address for his reason of speaking. Mr. Reeves, you have 5 minutes from when you start speaking.
It's an issue that is not to be taken lightly. I didn't write anything to talk here because I just wanted to talk to you guys just as a parent, as a concerned community member, as somebody that cares. And although each of you guys had your positions, you had your place within the level of education, you still have your place within the community. You still have your place within Logan County, and you still have your voice. And this is an issue that has been ongoing. This is an issue that we all need to address. It's not something that needs to be swept under the rug. When we talk about our image, when we talk about everything else, what does that matter whenever we have this problem? None of that matters. I will get on top of this roof and I will scream about it, make a fool of myself to make sure that this issue is addressed. I would ask that each one of you do the same. Is it not that big of an issue that for everybody to step out of your comfort zone, to step out of your position to address? Every conversation I've ever had with any member of our educational system has always came to safety. Everybody, every single one of you has mentioned safety. When we talk about safety, this is a really big concern, a really big blow to our children's safety. And one of the board meetings that I attended, I was called irate. Funny thing is, I had a level past that. I'm not irate, I'm infuriated, and I'm disappointed. Because this is something that should have been addressed, has to be addressed, and it should be put first and foremost, not only for student safety, for teacher safety. There's a gap that needs to be filled. And if you guys can correct it, because I do understand our board has no power, if you guys aren't the people that can correct it, and when all of us need to be showing up and knocking on the doors of the people that can't, that's every single one of us. The country's already let us down with the Epstein files. Honestly, And excuse my French, I'll be damned if I let it happen in my backyard. Well, everybody else should be just as infuriated as I am. The thing is, it has not happened to my children. And if it was, this wouldn't even be a conversation. And it's probably the same words a lot of other people would say as well. So let's make it a conversation before it becomes something that isn't a conversation. If it's not my children that's being hurt, but a child being hurt, just one, is one too many. And it's going to get to the point where safety is going to be involved. Parents are demanding transparency. We're demanding accountability. As a United States Army veteran and a retired sergeant, leadership. Part of leadership is accountability. I had 10 soldiers under me. They were all about 18 years old. You would think that they would be adults and they would understand the process and all that. But a lot of times they messed up. And even though they messed up, guess what? I was standing in front of first sergeant. I was standing in front of leadership, my leadership, taking responsibility for their downfalls. For what they did wrong. Because that's what a leader does. A leader admits there's a problem, finds solutions towards fixing it. If you don't have the solutions, I expect you to be at the door of the people that do, just like we are.
Thank you, sir. All right. Last on the list, we have Miss Shayna Thompson. She is here to speak on Logan Elementary updates. Ms. Thompson, you have 5 minutes and your time will begin once you start speaking.
Thank you. We've been waiting quite a bit of time for some communication to come out about that. And understand that these things take time. And I just wanted to express some of my concerns for me personally, for my family, for my friends who work in Logan Elementary School and Logan Middle School. I have personally spoke with Dr. White, and Mr. Dean has sent me a message personally. Mr. Keyser and I have talked, Mr. Markham and I have talked, and I do appreciate the time that y'all have taken for me. I attended Logan Elementary and Logan Middle School. I have a son who attends Logan Elementary School. I have a daughter who is enrolled to attend pre-K there next fall. I have another son who will start there in several years. So we got about 12 years left of me going through Logan Elementary and Logan Middle School. I have family and friends who attend school there and who work in the school system there. And I've just heard a lot of concerns and rumors, and I'm glad that some communication is coming out, and I do hope that there will be an open line of communication regarding the updates. We understand that this is a situation that nobody has ever really had to deal with here in Logan, and we were devastated, obviously, when the fire occurred in February. Our community truly rallied around Logan Elementary during this transition that was announced to be temporary, and we are thankful that the move went well and that staff and students were welcoming to bringing them into the middle school. But we are still very, very hopeful that this move will indeed be temporary. It's just not an ideal situation at Logan Middle School for elementary and middle school students to be an environment that's not really built for pre-K through 8. First, for the elementary students, again, it's not just designed for that. There are no separate gyms for gym classes. The elementary students are being forced to use a small conference area about this size for their gym class, their music class, their art class. I know my son personally hates not having traditional gym time. Playground equipment is not really appropriate for the young ones. There's not enough playground equipment. There's just a lot of students and a lot of different size students. Bathrooms are a huge issue. The commodes are not the right size for the little ones. There are not enough bathrooms. They're not separate enough. students are being told that they can't go when they need to wait and go on group breaks and things like that. And I think our teachers are probably losing a lot of instructional time going to and from the bathroom. Pre-K and kindergarten are supposed to have bathrooms within their classroom, and it's just not set up for that right now. Third, we're exposing little babies and little minds to things that they don't need to be exposed to yet, because there's no proper separation built that way, the way the school is currently designed. Little ones are being exposed to feminine products being in the stalls and bathrooms, because there are some bathrooms that all the students are allowed to use. Little ones are witnessing violent fights between middle school students, and that's concerning. While the school is probably large enough to host us temporarily, I just hope that you all will take that in consideration, and that it's not really set up for the separation to accommodate a pre-K through 8 moving forward. It's also not ideal and fair for the middle school students. Previously, 5th and 6th grade were very separated from 7th and 8th grade. 5th grade had their own hallways, their own bathrooms, and locker rooms, and now they're up there all together. 5th graders with 8th graders. They are sharing hallways, sharing bathrooms, and they don't all have secure lockers for their belongings. And again, just Logan Elementary is such a community-focused school that it's just not an ideal situation to try to keep us with Logan Middle School moving forward. From an activities perspective, Logan area already doesn't have enough usable gyms. And we've begged for auxiliary gyms for the Logan area for years. Chapmanville has auxiliary gym. Their intermediate and primary schools have separate gymnasiums, a lot of separation between those. Man Elementary, Man Middle School have separate gyms, bathrooms, and more. And Logan just doesn't have that. May I continue?
You can finish your thought.
We know that consolidation is coming sometime in the future. We think that this is a great opportunity for Logan to wait around. Hopefully the insurance will get back and it'll be positive, and you all can move forward on fighting to return Logan Elementary to our old school. We ask that you just take off the temporary goggles of what might be happening right now, fight for what's going to happen long term. Because I'm not just thinking about my children, I'm thinking about my grandchildren, the many generations that we have to come. And I really hope that this board will hear us and the state will hear us, that we do want to be back in Logan Elementary, and that we will rally together to come to keep our enrollment within the public schools and get this opportunity to update Logan Elementary and make it a premier school on the island.
Thank you very much. Moving on with the agenda, we go to item number 6, approval of minutes. This was approved by the state superintendent from the May 5th board meeting. Dr. Pat White participated by phone with that meeting, and Mr. Markham was not in attendance. Going down to item number 7, the approval of action items. For those, I will turn the meeting and the floor over to Dr. White.
High school football team's going to go to Rio Grande, Ohio, participate in the game of the camp. That's food or football funds. Our nutrition director is going to attend a boarding food piece in Pittsburgh through grant funds. Young Life Christian Ministry has requested the use of a school bus on June 14th, and then again on June 19th, the transport letting students to a camp in Virginia at a cost to the county. We had a bid approval for our oil and get our gas and diesel contract for next year with Woodford Oil Company. A bid for S&S Tire to purchase the bus tires.
And United Bank won the bid for our bank of record for Logan County Board of Education. Our new policies are on second reading. There are 4 of those. One is about tutors, one is self-harm and eating disorders training, which is called Megan's Law. Mandatory staff training on IEPs and self-harm and eating disorders for Megan's Law. The reason it's listed twice is the 3000 series is for service and the 4000 series is for professional or vice versa. Those are there. Second reading, these are policies that are being updated just for kind of cleaning them up where state law has changed slightly or there were some technical errors, and those are listed. I'm not going to read all of them, but they're on their second reading, and those are available and out on comment. The next thing is we had our Title I District Parent and Family Engagement Policy for 26-27 approved. Catherine Ellis, who is our federal or Title I coordinator and pre-K coordinator, we are extending her contract for up to 10 days so that she can cover summer school during the month of June, because she's currently on a 230-day contract, so she's out of days, but she does a great job with our summer school program. So if we need those, I don't think we'll need entirely 10, but we put up to 10 so that she can finish that out. Oliveri we're changing his contract from 240 to 261 days to perform additional duties related to personnel. And with the Third Grade Success Act next summer, we'll have to test third graders who may want, who need tested to for the retention piece of that law. WVU Extension Service requests a school bus and driver to take students from Logan County to Camp Myrtle Tate on Monday and then return back on Thursday to pick them up. Out-of-state travel, Omar Elementary will travel by bus to Malibu Jacks in 2 days, and that was paid for with fundraising and student allocations. And then out-of-state travel, Logan High School Lady Bobcats basketball team, they have several trips planned for out-of-state to either attend camps or play in different games. Our finances, the budget supplements, Fund 11, $163,345, Fund 61, $72,097.68, and then another Fund 61 for $300. So some invoices, county invoices, $936,244.14. CTE Career Education, $14,863.37. Food service, $11,797.41. ISA, $5,778.35. Permanent improvements, again, a lot of the projects that we've been working on. Payments to finish up the Logan piece, where we make the final payments, $423,490.26. And nothing on the P card. So we had invoices for a little over almost 1.4 million for this month. All of those invoices are available for review at the central office, and you may put direct inquiries to Ms. Justice if you want to have more information. For personnel, our personnel schedule is attached. We have for athletics, we have a correction and then a resign. For employment, we have a substitute teacher employment, and then we have several of our currently working teachers who have applied for summer school based on our need. I think we've had pretty rigorous enrollment for summer school this year. We're going to have one in Mann, Logan, in the Chapmanville area. And our high school summer school will be at Chapmanville Regional High School due to some of the construction at Mann and Logan that's going on. We have some employees on leave, and we have 5 employees that resigned, and retirement, a correction to a retirement that was posted last month. For transfers, these are people that are where we had reduction in force and transfers, and they may have saw another job they wanted, so they transferred. The good news, there are 11 on this list for professional, and 3 of them are we're putting into positions off the RIF list. So we've been able to place 3 more people professionally from the RIF list. We had some last time as well. On service, again, the administrative transfers are there based on the RIF and transfer piece. And on that list, the items 12 through 17, those are people who are on the RIF list who were able to put in positions that were held by subs. And then we have some of our employment for lawn maintenance for the summer. These are in addition to the next curricular contract. to make sure our facilities are maintained during the summer and the lawns are cut. And then we have, depending on the needs, we've hired aides and bus drivers for the summer school program as well. Summer enrichment. Bus drivers, substitutes, cooks, custodians, the whole 9 yards there. Some contracts, we extended Timothy Elkins' contract for 35 days. And then there were some contracts that were non-renewed. And then some leave as well for various people. We rescinded a one transfer, clerical error, and there was a resignation and a few retirements and so forth, and another transfer. So a lot's going on. Miss Perry keeps very busy, right now, with this time of the year. At this point, do you have any questions about personnel on this list or? For my superintendent's update, I want to start with commending Miss Cynthia Newton and all the Beta Club sponsors for working hard to provide the program in every school in Logan County. This allowed our students to grow in their leadership and service to their community, to be one of 95 districts nationally. So think about that. We're one of 95 nationally to have this distinction, and that's so significant. And it's such a great program for our kids, and it appeals to all kids at the school. It's not just a certain group. Every kid can find a place in Beta and do so well. And I just mentioned that 3 teachers and 6 service personnel were able to move from the RIF list to the vacant positions for next year on today's agenda. I do want to talk a little bit about a couple of things, and I'll just start with personnel. And just last meeting, I talked about what we were doing when people aren't doing what they need to do, and we're dealing with it quickly and efficiently. But we can't share everything we know because of how it is, but people that we need to share with it, we do, and we take care of those things immediately as possible under my watch. But in terms of, I thought today I would just mention a little bit about what happens with hiring personnel. And, again, all personnel must fill out an application and undergo FBI and state background checks prior to employment. For positions that require a license, such as teachers, principals, and ECATs, these individuals must also meet requirements of the West Virginia Department of Education Certification Office. And this office also requires the submission of transcripts and other documents, as well as the same background checks. If they find issues with the background checks or other things, the WVD can request additional documents or interview the person prior to granting a license or refuse to grant that license. At the central office, like I mentioned earlier, Mr. Boveri will be added on for additional time, and he's going to work with reviewing and working with the department on all the licensing applications that come through to make sure they're accurate, to make sure everything is in place. Ms. Perry, our HR director, will review all the applications for employment to make sure those are accurate, we have everything we need. And then together, those two will get together and trade notes and make sure that we're everything is like it should be, that we don't have any kind of concern about a potential candidate for employment, and that we review all the applications prior to selecting candidates to be interviewed. Both of these, Ms. Perry and Mr. Berry, trying to say that 3 times fast, they're required to be vetted for the CGI system that is controlled by the FBI to access and read background checks before the application goes any further. So they are going to be well versed in that process as well. No one is fully employed here until the background checks are complete and reviewed by our office as well as the department. Further, West Virginia State Code 18A-2-8 outlines the suspension and dismissal process of school personnel. In this piece of code, it must be reported if any employee is suspended, dismissed, or resigns, even during an active investigation. That doesn't get you off the hook. It must be reported to the state superintendent and added to a confidential database with access only to county superintendents and county human resource officers. So this database also provides a third avenue to screen potential employees. It's another place we can check to make sure people maybe we don't want in our system, don't get in our system. I just want to point that out that I think there was some recent law passes that, resigning doesn't necessarily end an investigation. It continues. But I also want to mention that not all administrative leaves are for misconduct involving students. Employees can be placed on administrative leave for actions such as the violation of security protocols, lack of supervision of students, insubordination, financial issues, work habits, failure to follow federal, state code, etc. So, and the other thing is all personnel action items taken under state takeover are reviewed and approved by the state WBTE before they come to this board. So I just wanted to mention those, and trust me, I will do everything I can to make sure we get the best that we possibly can for our students, and that we weed out the ones that won't be in our county, and I won't tolerate any kind of misbehavior. Want to share some. I want to move on to Logan Elementary. I appreciate the comments about that, and I'm just as frustrated as anyone. Dealing with insurance companies is never fun, but dealing with insurance companies on a project this great this large has been frustrating, but we're doing as much as we can. There's just some things I want to clear up. There's been a lot of noise, social media in different places about some things regarding Logan Middle and the building itself. But what I want to say is that I want to reiterate that this building had piers installed a few years ago to address some of the settling issues. It was a very large project, and the building is structurally sound. I do have a letter from a structural engineer, and she's one of the best on the East Coast that's stating that for a fact. And what we need to know about the building is it was designed for between 1,000 and 1,200 students, and we have around 600 in there now. So the structure is not at capacity, and it is safe to occupy. So once the building itself is safe. I mean, there's been some rumors about that, and I wanted to put those to rest. Also, we know that when we moved into the middle school, our priority was to make sure the children were safe and the children were back in school, that they needed a place to be. And moving forward, it is highly unlikely that we will be back in the elementary school in the fall. I don't see how that's going to happen, knowing what we have to do with the bid process, knowing what the insurance is going to tell us. But we also know that we put people in rooms, but we also know that there's other spaces available in Logan Elementary or Logan Middle that are more conducive for pre-K classrooms. There are rooms in that school that have bathrooms built in and that we can move those to. So I've tasked Mr. Dodson and Camille Evans and myself. We're going to meet with the Logan Elementary staff and the Logan Middle staff and look at those rooms and where we can maybe make some adjustments so that it's better, because in all likelihood, unless there's some miracle, and I mean, it would have to be a miracle. And even when I talked to the department right after the fire, it would have been a miracle if we could have started work that day after the fire to get the kids back into the building by August. But at this point, we are going to work on that, because in all likelihood, we will be still in that building in the fall. But that's, with that said, that doesn't mean we've made a decision. No decision has been made until we know what the insurance company is going to do. And I don't make decisions without facts, and I will always side on what's best for the children. So I just wanted to share that, yes, we will start school for Logan Elementary and middle school in the fall. There's just, I mean, if we were to get a quote from the insurance company tomorrow, we would have to get with our architects to make sure that we have a plan, a work plan. Then it has to be bid out. Then, the bids have to be approved, and then you have to get the contractors there to do the work. And so it's not going to happen overnight, but it will take some time, but we will consider everything and make, again, the best decision for the county and for the students. I want to end on just some good news, because I think we spend a lot of time talking about things that aren't so great, but I want to share something that happened today about students caring about their school and how they can make a difference. And about a month and a half ago, I don't know if Zach is still here from Logan High, but he invited me over to his Principals Advisory Council, and that was a fun afternoon. It was an hour. I taught high school for 20 years. I had a blast working with those kids. And they were so frank about a lot of things, but they said a few things that I thought, you know what, we can do something about that. And one of them was, they talked about the library. This is the library, you know, it's kind of dated and it doesn't have some of the equipment or seating that kids their age like to have, and some newer books that they wanted in there. So I listened to them, and you know, their frank discussions, they felt their library needs a refresh. And so I went back, and since I've been looking at the budget, I looked at this current year's budget, and there was some money still left over and some different things for furniture and for repairs and for books that was still available that we hadn't spent yet that we could use for this project. So I talked to Andrew, and I said, Andrew, I have an idea. And so I said, but I'm gonna need, so we called our architecture firm, ZMM, and I said, I need y'all's help, but I can't pay for it. So today, ZMM sent their entire interior design team to Logan High School. They sat down with the kids and they dreamed big. Now, what's cool is we have enough money, we can do this at Man as well. Not that we're ignoring Chattanville, they had some furniture recently, so in their library, I'm not ignoring them, and I'm helping them out with another project. But so the kids got to sit down with these designers and talk about what they wanted in their space. And so they're meeting with the students, but it's going to be the kids' design. Andrew's team, his team, they're on board with doing what needs to be done, painting or, you know, getting out some old things. They're using ZMM's interior design technology to kind of throw up ideas. And I'm going to get it wrong, Andrew, but they're going to meet with them until the project's complete, and then basically the maintenance team is going to bring to life what the students design. So they're so excited about that, and I'm thankful that we have a partner, and they're going to try to get some of their corporate people, you know, the companies that work with ZMM on furniture and fixtures to maybe help us out as well. So,
Right, awesome.
but I just love it that the kids said, we want to do this. I'm like, okay, well, let's do it. And we were able to find the funds, and we were able to give them that opportunity.
Awesome.
And last week, I got a call from Mr. Jeremy Frazier, who's our welding teacher here at Ralph, and he asked me, I said, what are you doing? I said, well, right, I don't know what I was doing. And he said, well, Chief Logan is just down the road. Can you come down the road? And I said, sure. He had his welding team there, and basically they built a better mousetrap, or built a better idea to build a swimming pool there at Chief Logan. So there's a culvert that runs under the road going out to the campground, and in years past, the crew at Chief Logan would climb up the creek, climb in the mud, go up into the culvert and put some wood blocks and stick the hose in there, and it would, you know, the creek water would fill the pool. Well, Jeremy's welding team, two of whom are female, I'll add that just because I think they were design readers. They built they built basically a portable dam for that. So it mounted to the culvert. It has stairs that, like a ladder, the workers don't have to climb through the creek anymore. They just climb down the ladder from the top of the culvert. And then there's a door that goes down, blocks the water. They hook the hose to it, fills the pool, and then they crank it up when they're not filling the pool, and the creek runs.
It's pretty cool.
But it's pretty cool, and they were installing it the other day, and they had a few design issues they had to fix there on the spot, but it was just neat to see those kids so proud of their work. They'll be there forever. And I know one of the guys that was helping them from Chief Logan was one of the students last year, and now has a job there. So it's just neat to see our kids do that. And I always want to spend some time bragging on what our kids and our teachers in this county do, because they truly do an amazing job. And they, you know, again, with Logan Elementary, those teachers, those Logan Elementary and middle have rose to the occasion to make it the best they can for the kids. Adults may be frustrated, but the kids, for the most part, are being taken care of and aren't as stressed out as we are. So, but that's all I have for you.
That's a question.
Yes.
The middle school.
Yes.
You said a while ago they wait till the insurance stuff was approved. Couldn't they have the architect, all that stuff done and be ready for the insurance to okay it? Because it's got to be done anyway, whether insurance pay for it or not, correct? Or not?
Well, it depends on the cost. It depends, you know, if they come back and say it's going to be
So
$20 million to fix that building. We don't have that much, that it wasn't insured for that much.
so you'd be basically paying an architect to do a project that might not.
Well, okay, to follow up on that. If something happens to insurance, say they, come up with 3/4 of what they think it would cost, and they don't pay the rest, the state doesn't have money to put in a kitty to where, I mean, we can't keep the school shut down regardless. Is that correct or incorrect?
Well, I don't know. I'm not gonna, I wanna look at that because, we have to look at our enrollment and we have to look at some other things. So I don't think we can say definitively yes or no. I
Okay,
think we have to look at a lot of different things and I don't wanna paint anyone into a corner until we know more.
so it wasn't insured, like,
It's insured, but I'm just saying it's,
how they put a cap on it, what they're going to insure, I guess is my question. Do we have lawyers looking into it?
there is, you have, just like your house
Sure.
insurance, I had my house insured for this much. There's a set amount of money that school was insured for. Whether or not it was enough
Okay,
is another thing, and we did, it concerned me about the size of it. I built an elementary school 12 years ago, and I know how much it cost to build it, and the insurance didn't seem to be anywhere near that cost of 12 years ago. So, when I noticed that, I asked our insurance company and our treasurer, I said, let's look at our insurance coverage countywide and make some changes. And we did, because we felt like we were underinsured in some cases. So we tried to shoot for insuring our buildings for 75 to 80% of the replacement cost.
okay.
Okay.
That's,
And that's all I know. I mean, until they tell us what needs to be done and how much it's gonna cost and, is it gonna, I think we just need to just keep an open mind about everything until we can make a decision.
and that's something should be updated every 2 or 3
It's
or
up
5
to
years.
and,
Annually, it's
I mean,
updated annually,
it will be there.
but it hasn't been.
I think they've made incremental changes, like they up at 2 or 3%. But what I did is I went to the department and I went to the architects, the facilities guys, and I said, what's you know how big each of our buildings are, what does SBA pay for square foot and how much would it cost to rebuild the building at that size? And that's where we got the numbers to now based on new insurance policy.
Gotcha, that's the worst scenario I was
Yeah,
feeling about
yeah,
it.
build
Okay,
it back and,
thank you, I appreciate it.
okay.
Any other questions? All right, we'll go to board comments. Dr. Pat Joe White, do you have any comments, sir? Pat Joe, you still there? On to Mr. Rodriguez. Do you have any comments, sir?
No, I appreciate the program we had this evening, very educational. And did she say something about they were third in, what did they come
Yeah,
in?
third in the nation.
That's awesome.
Community service hours.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. We enjoyed that.
Mr. Keiser?
Just, retouch on the VOTEC, what they've done down at the park, that, Mr. Fraser's always been active and our classes from VOTEC school have made a lot of improvements. I'm driving the park, that big new sign you see at the mouth, grills, benches, you name it, and they've worked on it. And, community overlooks a lot of the good that's done right there. That's a lot of money saved from the county's aspect and a lot of good training that we're giving our kids to get out in the workforce. What you talked about earlier, that, I like the fact that you involved the kids in the revitalizing of the library. Biggest way to get a buy-in is make them a part of it. And them kids will be a part of that library now until they leave there. And then when their kids go there, they'll be
Reagan.
talking about they helped with the revitalization of that library. So anything we can do to get kids involved in them kind of processes, I think is a big win. Tonight was a good night, a lot of good talent. We were represented well again, sounds like nationally. And a lot of tough decisions and, talk come across this table up here, but it's always good when we have the kids up and see the accomplishments that we're making and that they're making. And, that's when we get to see the payday come out for everything.
All right, love seeing the Beta kids here. I was a Beta kid. I think, Ralph and Mark are too old to be Beta kids, especially Ralph. Happy birthday, Ralph.
Thank you. 53.
53?
Yeah, 53.
Oh, but no, seriously, Beta was a big part of my high school experience. It's a little different now, than it was, almost 30 years ago. Lord help me. But well, yeah, almost 30 years ago. It's a little different now. They're much more, it's a much more involved, organization now than it was when I was involved with it. But I love seeing, our county being heavily involved in Beta. I think it causes the kids to kind of look at themselves and say, okay, what can I do better? How can I be better? What can I do to make my school better? What can I do to make my community better? And if we get good citizens out of our students as well as good academics out of them, that's never a bad thing. As far as, nobody said anything about it yet, and I'm surprised. The Hope Gas announcement, huge announcement. I don't think people realize how big of a deal that's going to be, for our school system, and for our community. I've said it since before I was on the board. This facility and the instructors in it, and the students that come out of it, this is our diamond in the rough. And anytime that we get to polish that diamond up, I think it's a good thing. And we definitely got some polish on it last week, and week before last. So really excited about that program. That's coming, and I think they're starting in the fall. Correct? Yeah. So that's big. I mean, to fast track it the way they did, I mean, it's going to be good. Bittersweet week for me. This Friday, just a reminder to everybody, this is shut up. This is graduation. This is graduation week. My son's graduating from Chapmanville Regional High School. I know it's hard to believe I'm old enough to have a graduate, right? But graduations this week. Man High will be at Friday at 1:00. Logan will be at 4:00, and CRHS will be at 7:30. Well, I'm hoping that it's looking like the weather's going to be good. I'm hoping it stays that way. But I'm yes and no on being excited about Friday. So that's coming up. I do want to address kind of the elephant in the room with the stuff going on at Logan Middle. Everybody is concerned when things like that happen and things come out. And Ms. Fury and Mr. Reed, if you don't mind, I would like to speak with you all before you leave, one-on-one. Can't really discuss stuff publicly because of the sunshine law and all that stuff, but I would like to speak with y'all privately before you guys take off. But know that absolutely student safety comes first. That's top priority. And if it wasn't, I've got kids in the school system. Mark has kids in the school system. Ralph has grandkids in the school system. We're not going to let stuff just slide by, and put kids in danger. That's not what we're about. That's not going to happen. But I would like to speak with you guys before you leave, just to give you a little bit of a personal insight from at least where I sit. Okay, if you guys don't mind. But
give you one piece of advice before we leave. And my wife says I'm one of the driest people that ever walked. And thanks to Logan County, I got the privilege of handing my daughter her diploma last year on the stage. And buddy, you better put your big boy pants on come Friday, because that is something that's gonna have you and spit you out.
I got one better.
Know
For,
what's coming.
I got one better for you. I'm speaking at Gary's graduation. So Rob Dowell's already told me he's got a box of tissues he's gonna put at the lectern, because I'll probably be boo-hooing. All right, Derek's hungry. Anybody got anything else?
I was there.
I love you, buddy. I love you. All right, there being no further business before this board, I need a motion to adjourn. I need a second.
Second.
Before we adjourn, announcements. Next board meeting will be held here at the Ralph R. Wills Career and Technical Center on June 9th. That's Tuesday, June 9th, 2026 at 5 p.m. Let's see, we got our motions. All those in favor of adjournment indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed indicate by saying no. The ayes have it. We'll call it a 3-0 vote with one abstention. We are adjourned at 6:33 p.m.